Make sure you stay hydrated, folks. It's hot out there. So for this next part of the song, this starts changing for the drums when Karen O starts singing Tell Me What You Saw. So that's the vocal cue to listen for. And this ends when she starts the high pitch ooh ooh. So that's when you know that it's changed again. So this is for that portion of the song. What we're going to be doing is just adding a hi-hat in to the part of the beat where we're also hitting the snare drum. It seems like the drummer is doing a little bit more of an advanced technique where they're playing and hitting that hi-hat as it's open and then quickly closing it to give it a certain sound. We can also achieve that similar sound by just putting a little bit less pressure on the hi-hat and give it that kind of a sound, and I think we're going to achieve the same thing. So let's do that for the purposes of this video, and let's get right into it. So we're going to click in and then start playing that part that is happening when Tell Me What You Saw starts to be heard by Karen O. So we'll get right into it. Just click in and start going. So for this third part of the song, we're just going to be switching up what we're doing with the hi-hat a little bit. For reference, this is during the ooh-oohs, and we're just going to switch up that hi-hat a tiny bit. So instead of playing the hi-hat with the snare drum, we're going to be playing it on the one and with that second bass drum hit. It'll sound a little different, and it will match the vocals of Karen O. Throughout the whole song, you kind of want to be listening for those vocals, like I said before, because the hi-hat matches that. And this is the part that's being played, like I said, during the ooh-oohs right before the guitar solo, where we kind of move into a more standard rock beat. So I'll click in and demonstrate that really quickly for us. We're still in 4/4 throughout the whole song, and we can check it out. So we'll get started here. Alright, so now we're going to do the guitar solo. Just a little note, often when you're playing with other people, you kind of play off of each other. Songs have different parts, and sometimes they get heavier, sometimes it gets a little lighter. So you can play off of each other and think about dynamics when you're playing with other people. When the guitar solo is happening, we kind of get a little louder with the drums and have a little bit more texture. So we're going to be playing quarter notes with the crash cymbal. I can't totally distinguish what's going on here. You might be hitting the 8th note a little bit lighter, but the general emphasis is hitting on that quarter note with the crash cymbal, but using the same basic beat that we've been using the entire time. For educational purposes, I'm going to be showing transition from the ooh-oohs, which we had just did, with that different hi-hat aspect, and then moving back to the gold line chorus, which is right after this guitar solo, where we go back to that original basic beat. And all together, that will show all 3 transitions, and we'll add a little fill in front of the ooh-oohs leading to the guitar solo, just to show how you can also add texture. Don't worry too much if you don't hit the same fills that the drummer in this song is hitting. As long as you get a general aspect, you'll be good, and as you play and get to know the song more, you can add your own texture and your own fills, or you could hit exactly what he's hitting if that interests you. We'll get started right here. One more time, just to be clear, we're doing the ooh-oohs part to the guitar solo, back to the gold line chorus. So a little bit more advanced aspects of this song. There's some drop-offs that happen, so we can try to hit those. Transitions for those drop-offs include fills, so we can add fills to add texture to the song. The first drop-off happens after the second chorus of the Gold Lion, when Karanos is out of control, and then the synth comes in and does this cool little solo. The drums drop off at that point, drops off for about 2 measures, and then comes back in slowly, and then drops off again for 1 measure, and then comes back in at full force, and there's a fill that's included in that second comeback in. For learning purposes, I'll show you little parts of stopping and adding those fills back in. So Karanos is out of control. We are done. We wait for 2 measures, come back in with that basic beat. There's a little bit more texture in the second part of the song, adding to that emphasis of growing and getting louder. So it's really up to you what you decide to do with it. It's really not important that we hit exactly what the drummer is hitting. I'll just show a little bit of what I would do if I were replicating this song. So there you have it, the basics to playing Gold Lion by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. I hope this has been helpful to you. Just a little note, I did add a little bit of extra bass drum to that last part, thinking about the guitar solo in my head. As you keep playing, and especially when you're playing with other people, it's important to get intuitive in that way and listen to what others are doing and add emphasis to that. So feel free to do that as long as you have the basic beat still going as a background. It'll sound really great. Yeah, this has been really fun. I hope this is helpful to you. I really want to thank Girls Rock for including my video in this instruction. I'm really sorry that we can't be in person, but we have to stay safe. I just want to encourage all those girls out there to keep rocking. You're just going to get better and better.